H.264, decode these things, split into the screen at really high frame rates, up to 60 frames a second, especially if you're looking at 3D content, and kind of enable the ability to kind of move that. And we've taken advantage of that in the platform. The other kind of stuff that we look to take advantage of are these OpenGL hardware blocks inside of here. I'm going kind of techie just for fun because this is reference hardware and I get to do that. So we get this kind of cool opportunity to take advantage of this hardware that's in here. So I'll pause here for a second. We'll switch into demos in a brief moment. But this is all the slideware, and the rest of the stuff is going to be on the TV. Yeah?
So that's Flash Player 10.1 on Android 2.1?
That's right. So there's a special thing that we've done for Google TV here. And this is all referenced on their website. They're actually going to be updating at the future to 2.2. But it's the Google TV, which is based on that. Any other questions? This is riveting material, I know. So I'm going to turn this TV on. Let's hope all of it works. So what I have here, let me walk you through kind of what the hardware setup is for a moment. This is a standard television. I've connected into the back via HDMI. I've got coming. I'll talk about these things. What I've got here is an Intel CE4100 reference platform. So companies like Intel, one of our partners, provides this kind of hardware to anyone who's willing to produce, who wants to make stuff available on the platform. Of course, I knew if I did this. Come back, yeah. Sorry. Okay. So so Intel makes this available to basically anybody who wants to build a reference platform. That is not what
Put that back, I can get a picture.
Yeah, I know. Move quickly, hands, please. All right, sorry. Give me a brief second here for. I want to make sure I'm not. Promise you this will work. So the funny part is I can only show you guys some of this stuff, which we've been allowed to show you, because it's unreleased hardware. And so I want to.
Oh, we won't say anything.
What's that?
We won't say anything.
Yeah, of course. Do a little song and dance and do a little tap dance. We'll actually reboot the hardware, which is kind of the best way to do this. So what you have here is, like I was saying, is a 4100, which is a great little piece of reference hardware. It's an Intel part, which is running Android 2.1 and the Google TV operating system. So what you'll see is Google TV booting up, and what you end up getting out of this is I'll take you through using the Chrome browser to kind of experience various different websites. I want to take you through YouTube Leanback, some BBC News, the Flash Player channel on YouTube as well. It kind of shows some of the very cool HD stuff, and then Curious George from the PBS. And so what I want to show you is something here. First of all, video capabilities. Second of all, some of this casual gaming that Flash is awesome for. Sweet. Oh, there we go. Well, you guys are actively enjoying taking photos of this thing booting up. Are there any other questions? And magic will happen now. There we go. So, first thing that I'm going to load up here is YouTube Leanback. YouTube demoed this at Google I/O. YouTube.com.
You're holding it wrong.
What was that? All right, cool. Yay, sweet. Okay. So this is YouTube Leanback, and what you're actually seeing here is a Flash delivered experience. This video, and I'll actually put the volume up so you can actually know that this is.
Can you tilt it back?
Oh yeah, back here. So this is being streamed from the internet.
Huh.
So this is being streamed from the internet, and this is I'm not exactly sure what the video quality of the stream is, but I want to show you some of the other stuff. And what we have here is this is actually running Flash Player in Chrome. So really cool, what this has been designed for. And so I'm using a keyboard here because we don't, we can only show so much of the actual input methods. But imagine I'm going to use the 5-key navigation. So pretend like I have just a regular style remote here for a second. So I hit down here to actually browse through this. This is all kind of, built-in Flash here. And now maybe I want to go watch some autos. That sounds fun. So maybe get to see some cool racing stuff. Okay, I'm not going to do motor swap. Let's try this. So I'm just using 5 buttons, up, down, left, right, and enter, to kind of navigate this UI. What you're actually seeing is hardware decoded video. So the video is actually being sucked down from the internet. Frames are being put into the hardware decoder, and it's then rendering it back. And Flash is actually is the one managing this entire process. So a little video there. So the next thing I want to show you guys. Yeah.
So, how come, this is going to sound bad coming from me, but why is Google doing this in Flash, not HTML5?
That's Google. Okay, cool, man. Happy with that.
Yeah.
Good for me. So the next thing I want to show you guys is a couple of videos to kind of show you how awesome the video capabilities are, both the Google TV and Flash platform, and the Flash platform running on the device. So now this is actually. So this is, you recognize this, right? Standard YouTube, standard HTML website with the Flash video player in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch videos here. I'm using a keyboard and mouse right now, which kind of is indicative of, different kinds of new methods of input into the living room that we're going to see enabled by Google TV and other platforms over the course of the next couple of years. This video is loading up. It'll take a couple moments to load up. But what you'll really be able to see is I'm going to actually take the video. Its standard mode is 360p. I'm going to actually take it up to 720, go full screen, and give you kind of the cinematic experience that you expect from a living room kind of environment. So while it's loading there. So just to also give you some reference here, standard disclaimer, this is an early version. So what you're seeing now, again, is this HD hardware decoded video, 720p rendering on my TV. In a lot of cases, you'll be able to see no difference between what you get available on Comcast through your video on demand services that they make available. So, very high quality video. This is probably fairly high megabits per second in terms of streaming, really high quality content that you're able to, just access and watch now in the living room.
You guys worried at all about, the average consumer using this and pulling up a user-created YouTube video that's crappy quality and blaming it on the box, not knowing better?
So, it's an interesting question. I think there's a certain user understanding that's available with YouTube now, right? People understand what YouTube is. They understand what the web is.
Do you think that's widespread enough to translate to my dad in the living room?
It's a fair question, and maybe we talk to your dad and see what he'd have to say. But I have a sense that people are browsing the web on their TV. This is a direction that's going to happen across the ecosystem, and there's a certain set of expectations that come with the web. So now the next one I want to show you is a little bit more. So is the BBC News. You're all probably familiar with the British Broadcasting Company, and they stream their video using Flash on the web. And we're going to go browse over to some article that's available here. We'll pick one that's, maybe we pick this one here and get a chance to watch it. So I'm going to click in here, article loads up. So you'll see that the text is here. Chrome does a fantastic job of rendering what is made for the desktop available onto the web. And you'll see that Flash does an equally good job here of actually making the same video content in the three examples I'm showing you here, of actually rendering this video back to you. One of the things, here we go. Unfortunately, this is only, I think, an 18-second video. Oh, you even get ads too, so isn't that great? So you're actually seeing this video play back here, advertising, all the same kind of stuff. So, while this is kind of amusing for us as consumers, and I just as much as one think ads are a great thing. They're a key part of the content ecosystem, both from a TV and a web perspective. And so we're pretty excited that the same kind of place that incents people to build content exists as well here. I'll give it a second to actually start up. So, this is, obviously a 41-second video, but we can take it full screen. You can kind of see, being able to watch some of these cool videos on the web now on your TV. Yeah.
Well, the people that you're talking to on the TV side, are they looking to create specific TV, just like mobile sites, or TV sites, just like we have mobile sites?
You find 6 in one, half dozen the other. Some people are, some people aren't. Again, the interesting thing is on the TV ecosystem, it's so nascent that people are kind of, generally, some are, again, really excited and jumping in head first. Some people are, dipping their toes in the water.
Yeah.
And so you'll see, I think, people like the big media companies who are really excited to make video content available on a platform will go like, here's my, instead of m.newyorktimes.com, here's tv.newyorktimes.com. So the last demo I want to show you is the PBS Kids website, and we'll play a specific game there. So PBS Kids, obviously, the American version of the BBC, or the BBC's American version of PBS, take your pick. This is a site that can be shared between children and parents. One of the really compelling scenarios here that we find from a company that creates software to enable content creators is your PC and your phone are one-to-one devices, right? You have your phone, I have my laptop, and that's basically it. Kids get phones at younger and younger ages, but they each get their own. There's still certain set of, a colloquial American family that sits in the living room and watches TV together. One of the interesting points of data, and I was seeing some research presentation about this, is this expression of here but not here, or together but apart, which is families sit in the living room, but the kids have their laptops, the parents are working, but everyone has the TV going on together. So it's like kind of a unifying device that holds a lot of the living room scenario for an average American consumer household on a given night. And so one of the really interesting things that we see is how can the TV enable that for